Welcome to Swiss Watchcam, welcome to a very special video. I'm here with Carl Friedrich Schäufele, the owner and president of Chronometer Ferdinand Berthoud and also Chopard. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great to meet you and thanks for joining me here.
Thank you for having us and my team as well. So today we're going to talk about one of my favorite watches of the year. I had a pleasure to film it as well at the manufacturer, and it was a pleasure to discover the watch, all the details, and also learn about the story behind it. But today you will also fill in the gaps for us and tell us how it all began. And then we will also jump into Fleurier to talk to Vincent Lapère about the technical aspects of the watch. But first, I want to ask you, how did this all start? How did you get involved in the Naissance du Montre project?
Well, I was observing what Naissance du Montre #1 was all about, and I was following a bit the development, and obviously I was admiring the outcome. And as I also know Philippe Dufour quite well, I was quite fascinated by the idea of one man, one watch, and everything made by this one person. And then I heard that there was a #2 project, and I decided that we should line up for #3. And working together on a handmade project using, if any, machines which date back to the 60s, 1960s, and obviously there's no digital aids or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
After we had decided to go that path, we said, actually, we don't have these machines anymore. We have to go and source them. And here we are restoring old machines and making sure that they actually work within levels of precision that we needed. And that was an adventure in itself.
And the whole project is basically the transmission of knowledge that you can still build a watch by hand, although very difficult, as you found out through how many years of the project in total?
Well, we announced the project back in 2019, and 6 years later, here we are.
Congratulations.
Talking about the finished watch.
How did you decide on the design? Because this watch is actually inspired by one of your old pocket watches that Mr. Berthoud made back in the day.
Ever since we revived the Berthoud name in a way, and that was now 10 years ago, we had decided that the aesthetics and the design should be as close as possible to the Berthoud era. In that particular case, pocket chronometer #3 served as an example. And here is a modern interpretation of that pocket watch on the wrist. The pocket watch #3 was a milestone in the discovery of Berthoud for me. Our museum in Fleurier, in that museum we have a section about marine chronometers. And this is really how I discovered the name Berthoud. Reading about marine chronometers, I realized that if there's one piece we need to exhibit in this museum, it's a piece by Berthoud. And from there on, I read everything about Berthoud I could find, and ended up finding out that he actually was born close to Fleurier. And then I wanted to find out who actually owns the name Berthoud, and until finally in around 2006 I managed to acquire the name, not even knowing what we were going to do.
And it was just amazing how you basically started off this brand, basically, the name, with such high quality and such a strong identity,
That was the underlying philosophy. Honor the name, thinking, what would Berthoud have done, and how do we have to do it today? And we want to be, in French we say, à la hauteur. We want to be at the level of Berthoud.
Yeah. Basically, if he was alive today, what kind of watch would he make?
Yeah, basically, yes. And I wanted him to be proud of what we are doing, Yeah.
So now let's go to Fleurier to speak to Vincent Lapère, the general manager of Ferdinand Berthoud, about all the technical details and aspects about the watch. We're here in the beautiful Manufacture Chopard in Fleurier. Next to us is Vincent Lapère, the general manager of Ferdinand Berthoud. So from your perspective, tell us maybe shortly about the Naissance du Montre continuation, which is the topic we'll talk about today.
So the Naissance du Montre is a very important project that was led by the Time Aeon Foundation, with masters that created this Time Foundation, Guillaume, Philippe Dufour, Vianney Alter, and other masters of this very high level. And Mr. Schäufele decided to join the project that we will make the Naissance d'une Montre 3.
So the Naissance d'une Montre 1, which was done with Grebel Forcé and Philippe Dufour and Michel Boulanger, was, I would say, more simple looking, but also complex, obviously. The second one was done with the guys at Ulrich, Felix Baumgartner, Martin Frey, and also Cyrano Devante and Dominique Busser, which are the guys behind Océan.
Exactly.
And then you are now taking the next step with number 3.
You see here, this is the original pocket watch made by Mr. Berthoud.
So this was the inspiration, especially the movement for the watch.
But we say we should not reproduce the same design, we should reinterpret. So we decided to bring to the front all the movement construction. In our Naissance d'une Montre 3 is the first time we have a Ferdinand Berthoud that shows all the mechanism from the dial side. Makes this watch very modern, even if it's made with old handmade techniques, machines from the 1950 and 60.
Yeah.
So we reproduce the element, but also the regulating organ that is absolutely unique, that has never been achieved on a wristwatch actually.
And the most beautiful thing for me is, because I'm a big fan of pocket watches, to see the comparison of these two side by side. And the first thing that sticks out is the bridge for the fusée. It's basically identical. It's gorgeous. And what I heard when I came here, you have a very special shock absorption system here with a diamond on the front and the back. And I've heard that the pocket watch has the same front and the back.
Absolutely. That's why we actually decided to use the same construction as Mr. Berthoud. Of course, we had to readapt the spring that maintained the diamond, but it's the same construction. As usual, that's also something we do in all our creation. We take the source of inspiration from the antique Ferdinand Berthoud pocket watch and we reinterpret in modern way.
Beautiful. I mean, in 17, you said 50. Making a pocket watch of this complexity, I mean, Berthoud was, for me, one of the best, on par with Breguet, let's say, and John Arnold, obviously, as well.
For sure.
So what was the most difficult component, let's say, of this wristwatch?
Of course, achieving a fusée-and-chain. The chain itself is 18 centimeters long. We talk about 477 elements with pins that fix the links that are 0.3 millimeter diameter. So this is already an achievement. Yeah. But the most difficult element of this watch is the regulating organ. Because here in our Naissance d'une Montre 3, you will see at 12 bimetallic balance wheel crafted with invar and brass alloy. This alloy was created by Mr. Guillaume, that is a Swiss physician born here in Floyer, in this village, that was awarded Nobel Prize in 1920 for the invar, that is the famous unvariable material. That means an alloy that is not affected by the temperature changes. And actually, the addition of the invar inside of the rim of the balance wheel and external part of the balance wheel allows to compensate for the temperature changes and actually to adapt to the torque of the balance of the hairspring. This watch, like any Ferdinand Berthoud, is officially chronometer certified by the COSC. This is also a first for a Naissance d'une Montre, because we went a step further to have the official chronometric certification by the Swiss state.
Which is very difficult.
Very difficult.
I mean, like you say, especially for a handmade watch.
Oh, maybe that was
as funny as it sounds, when somebody shows me a handmade watch, I don't expect it to be the most precise watch in the collection, but for you, the standard needs to be met.
That's it. The same criteria of quality in terms of finishing, the same precision with a certified accuracy by a neutral body. It's important because this is part of our DNA. Yeah. Handmade or not, it must have the same accuracy.
Awesome. So we have the time indication at between 1 and 2 o'clock.
Crafted in gold, hand engraved, displaying the hour and minute. The hours are showed by Roman numerals, like on the original pocket watch of Ferdinand Berthoud, and the minutes on with Arabic ones. A long and slim central second. The central second is, of course, crafted in steel that is blued by heating. And the tube that fixes the hands is crafted in gold. It's very, very long, as you can see. It's very unusual because it must go on top.
Very high,
It's very high, extremely difficult to adjust. The watch has 750 elements about. We spend 11,000 hours work to have this first prototype handmade. Over 80 people around all Ferdinand Berthoud and Chopard maisons have been involved in this project, making this project one of the most important, I would say, collaboration between the global organization. Finally, to achieve this exceptional timekeeper, it's really, I believe, a nice tribute to the work of Ferdinand Berthoud.
Oh, for sure. And a very worthy Naissance de Montre number 3. What's the indication here at 9 o'clock?
So we have a power reserve display.
So
it's a 50-hour power reserve display. Of course, a hand-wound mechanism. And if you see here the back, that has a very amazing display of different bridges, with one main bridge here that has a very special maxim that was written in a book that Mr. Louis Berthoud, the nephew of Ferdinand Berthoud, has published for his students in watchmaking. He mentioned to him, autant qui instruit in French means time tells, time learns. And this is a maxim that can be used for any craftsman. He explained this: after your long 5 years training, I learn you everything I know about watchmaking. You are now officially watchmakers, but you are not craftsmen.
And this is also hand engraved in-house, huh? Basically.
Of course, everything is made in-house. Even the case is made in-house, crafted in gold. The crown is made in-house with this beautiful fluted finishing. The logo that is engraved on the crown, everything here made by our craftsmen, actually in Geneva, not in Fleurier, because we have our own watch case production facility. And here the craftsmen that are extremely experienced says, we're making a handmade case actually is not so complicated for us because we have the craftsmanship also for the jewelry side. So when they went for this round case that is curved, and the 4 lugs that are machined separately and then welded to the case. Very difficult to adjust because, of course, everything must be perfectly geometric.
Plus the polishing on the edges.
Plus the polishing. To produce the case and the crown, over 200 hours handwork, only for the case and the crown.
Oh man.
And for the decoration of the movement parts, for the first prototype, we stopped calculating after 600-hour work. Just for the decoration, we say, okay, we keep 600 hours as a record. Everything that comes on top, we stop to calculate. It's too much.
It's very thin but beautiful beveling. And obviously all the screws are blued as well. Glued.
Some blued by heating, like in the original of Mr. Berthoud, and some stay with the steel, exactly like Mr. Berthoud was doing at his time. It depends. They have to do different geometry also, reproducing what he has made.
Beautiful. And mirror polishing as well.
Of course.
I love the contrast between the front and the back. It's gorgeous.
It's a watch that is nice to look from both sides. It's something we are extremely, that's also a little bit our signature. A watch must be beautiful everywhere you look at it. And as this also has a pillar construction, all the elements are fixed by pillars. And this is very interesting because you can see from all the elements, you can see that the dial external ring is fixed by pillar, that here all the screws, everything. It's very spectacular. It brings actually light inside the watch, makes it very interesting to look in all angles.
Why did you decide to do the half plate, let's say?
Design follow function. Not making something complicated only for the beauty of making it complicated. It must stay simple because for me less is more.
And when you spoke about experience for watchmakers, I was listening to an interview with Dominic Busser. He mentioned something about 30 years later, he made the first Océan or something like this. Like you said, you are a watchmaker after 5 years, but to actually learn all the skills needed for a watch, it might take decades, huh?
Decades until the end of your life, you still learn. Just to craft the minute hand that has an arrow at the end. 24 micromechanic operation, 13 operation of decoration, and heating by flame, blue heating. This hand represents how complex it is to make it by hand. It's really difficult. It was also interesting for the engineer of the COSC themselves, Because of course, when you send a watch like that to the COSC, you don't go to the automatic COSC process.
Yeah.
You go to the COSC, I would say, laboratory. That is, the watch is on the hand of a physician during the 16 days testing. It goes to a very specific process, so very much more expensive than the regular.
I'm sure.
Because it's followed by a specialist that has a degree in mathematics and physics.
Yeah.
And they follow the same criteria of testing, but a little bit like a prototype, because it's not possible to use the standard machine. They have to make it old school, chronometry certification.
Very impressive. And for this project, you actually, in the space we're in the building, you created a space just for this, correct?
Yes.
You bought machines, you sourced them, which is also difficult.
That
can
was
imagine.
the second step after achieving the design and the first construction, was to create a workshop with antique machine tools from the 1950 and 60, approved by the Time Aeon Foundation, because we must receive their approval for any tool we use, and we could source these antique machines and the mechanics, and create this workshop that we call today Atelier Tradition. That means the traditional workshop, where they craft all the raw parts of the movements that are then supplied to our Ferdinand Berthoud master craftsmen that decorate everything. And of course, the watch is completely assembled, adjusted, regulated by our Ferdinand Berthoud watchmakers.
Beautiful. So,
Ferdinand Berthoud.
So even sourcing the machines before even starting the project, I assume that was not easy.
No, and then you had to refurbish the machine,
And they were not
recalibrate,
exactly. Yeah.
and to produce the tools we needed to produce the parts. Because here we decided to go the opposite way. We have a design. Mr. Berthoud at his time was producing his tool, publishing the design of his tool, and we say we have to do the same. We have to create the tools to be able to craft what we need for this watch.
So Vincent, thank you so much for taking your time to present this beautiful project and showing
My
us
pleasure.
around the manufacture and especially the Atelier de Tradition. I hope this project will continue in the future, because again, something like this is very rare, and I think it's important for our industry and for the next generation, like you said. What was your favorite aspect of the whole process?
It's difficult to identify one favorite part. Certainly, one of them is the moment you actually start conceiving, you start designing, and you actually start defining what you want to do. Also, a favorite part for me was all the interaction with the team, and to see how motivated everyone still is and how they work very closely together to make it happen.
Yeah.
A less favorite part of the project was that sometimes you can kind of lose your patience and you say, how long is this still going to take? But that, I guess, is part of the fun, you know.
But also now in hindsight, the timing couldn't have been better with the 10-year anniversary.
Yes, it was a long journey, but we arrived on time for the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, exactly. With the quality you were aiming for. So if anybody wants to purchase this watch or is interested in buying this piece, what's the best way to go about it?
Well, the closest way to go about it is to take part in the Philips watch auction in November 2025, in a few weeks, actually, because there is a one-of-a-kind piece with a steel case.
Okay.
It will be auctioned also in favor of teaching young people about watchmaking. So we will identify projects. How can we transmit the knowledge, actually?
Yeah.
Or else sign up for one of the 10 pieces that we will make in the next 5 to 6 years. However, in either yellow, white, or rose gold.
Yeah.
The steel one will be the only one reserved for Philips auction.
And also the first one delivered? The one from the auction?
And it will be delivered right on the spot because it's ready.
Sure. So if you're one of those collectors who doesn't like to wait, which is nowadays quite a normal thing, that's it. Your best chance to basically get in the first one at Philips.
Exactly.
Great auction house.
Yeah.
And also the watch will go to a great cause.
Yes.
Right. So it's going to further basically our passion, what we love to collect, and just help the young minds to realize their dreams, which is, I think, very honorable of you as well. So, Mr. Schäufele, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Please.
To giving us your precious time, and also congrats.
My
on
pleasure.
This beautiful watch.
My pleasure. Yeah.
And guys, check out the watch, the link in the description as well. I'm going to link the website and also Instagram account, so you can read all the information about it and also about the project. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.